into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at the wellness aspect of our energy via the tarot, astrology, and any channeled messages that come through. So let's get into it. Happy New Year. I hope you've had a lot of beautiful, blessing-filled celebrations with you and your family and your close to loved ones. It's been kind of a nice transition into the new year. I am the person or the kind of person that always gets really excited about new opportunities, new beginnings, that value of being able to kind of not wipe away the past, but maybe kind of cleanse out, wash out some of the things, the blocks, the obstacles, the people, the situations that have been getting in the way from us connecting with our happiness, our success, our fulfillment. And that's what wellness really provides the platform, the foundation for. When we're taking care of ourselves mentally, emotionally, physically, that's really where we can connect with our best life, right? It's where we find success. It's where we're able to really tap into those values of manifestation, like attracts like. We're always doing that. And the idea is to be intentional, right, about what we're inviting into our life. It's that concept, that idea has definitely been in focus over the last year or two as Pluto has transitioned into Aquarius. It's giving us an opportunity to kind of shift the trajectory of some of the life choices we've been making. It's definitely been weeding out people, places, and things that really aren't in alignment with our desires, our ultimate goals, etc. And like I said, I really, in my study of health, well-being, holistic wellness, etc., I really feel like that is the foundation. That is like the strongest foundation that we can work from, is when we do take care of ourselves. Because not only does it give us awareness, gives us understanding, but it really helps us make better choices that we actually want, right? Like we don't end up, or we don't find ourselves in situations, in dynamics where it's not really what we want to be a part of. Or when we do, we can have healthy responses to actually honor the desires of our heart. There is a full moon in Cancer today. We'll talk a little bit about that energy. I'm not 100% certain if I'm going to do another video around that. My day's a little bit chaotic, a little hectic, but to be determined. Sorry. I know I can be a little bit sporadic, but I always appreciate your kindness, your patience, your flexibility with me. We're going to start off with an energy cleansing just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out any places we might feel blocked or limited. It's a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you've come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It's a really great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of personal or healing services, and readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of a realignment of self, your mind, body, soul, I do energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Like I've kind of been preaching about the last few minutes, when we're in alignment with self, when we know who we are, when we're aware of our wants, our desires, what actually works best for us. That is where we're able to manifest the desires of our heart. That's where we're able to find happiness, fulfillment, and we all deserve that. And I would love to support that in whatever way possible. Definitely hit me up. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. All right, with that, let's get into it. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so that we may see and understand the messages clearly. To make me a clear and open channel for that collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama Love. It's a smoky one today. It's a very smoky. All right. Well, you know what? I'm kind of just hearing like there's this waiting. Like you're in this waiting energy of like, when are things going to move forward? Maybe that's kind of a blanket statement, but as we've talked about on the channel, moving into 2026, there are some loose ends that we are seeing manifest. We are in a 10-year as well, 10 in numerology. So the possum pops out its diversity, its plurality. This is that value of not being so stuck, not being so confined in maybe old patterns and old thoughts and old ways of believing. So that value of diversity that's coming up is recognizing, well, what I'm hearing, I guess I should back that up a little bit, excuse me, because there's this energy of taking your time. We've seen that a lot. I've been talking about it a lot. Loose ends coming into 2026. And 2026 numerology, it breaks down to a 10-year. So this is a year of closing out cycles. This is a year of like bringing things to finality. Hence why we might be not even lingering, because I don't even, like the energy I'm picking up is like this is stuff that you don't want to be dealing with, right? This is stuff that you don't want to continue to put your time and your energy towards. We're in Capricorn season right now. So Capricorn reminds us to do the hard work. The hard work is actually beneficial. Ironically or not, we got this Psalm book in the same spot last week. So the Psalm book is connecting with things that keep you inspired, with things that keep you hopeful, especially if you are kind of focusing on transitions in your life. Different choices you want to make to better honor yourself, not only your physicality, but your mind, body, soul. Ayurveda is a huge proponent that it's not just one facet. It's not just your physical body, right? Like our mind has to be right in order to find health and well-being. And you know, whatever, we all come into situations, dynamics that can make us feel a little bit crazy, that can throw us off course, etc. But that's why the most fundamental, basic, and important connection is with yourself. There's a common phrase in Ayurveda called pragya aparad. And that means, it translates to the mistake of the intellect. And the mistake of the intellect is when we disconnect from ourselves, when we don't have awareness about our life, when we don't take a second to kind of understand what's happening to us, whether someone's doing something, acting, behaving in a certain way, turning a blind eye, that kind of vibe, or we don't want to look at something too deep because it feels a little bit messy, or it feels it's not, it's not fun looking at those things. And unfortunately, with Pluto moving into Aquarius, A lot of that stuff is front and center in our life right now. And what I'm seeing with this Psalm book as our overarching energy, it's that friendly reminder that we have to keep connecting back to the things that inspire us to do a little bit better each day, that inspire us to move forward, to overcome the hurdles, the difficulties, the transitions that we are facing. Reinvention, I love this. The salamander reinvention is front and center this week. Self-expression, speaking your truth. But also we have the Bayou, which is about emotions and manifestation. This has been coming up a lot for us lately as well. Is recognizing like where we're putting our time and energy, how much we're allowing someone or something to take up space in our mind, what we think, what we feel, the emotions that we dump into it. And I know it's not easy to just like cut those things off. It's very much air energy. Air energy helps us weigh the pros and cons, make the hard decisions, take the emotion out of it. And I feel like that's the hardest part is what I'm seeing. So really making sure that you're honoring your mental, emotional this week, taking care of yourself, even if it means that you do have to, it's not necessarily about moving slow. So we have some things that are happening throughout the week astrologically. The transits are still kind of calm. Moving into the new year, the full moon in Cancer today that we're having, depending on where you're located, I should say. It's a little bit later in the day. But that full moon in Cancer is really highlighting. So Cancer energy reminds us of home, it's family, it's highlighting places that people are actually supporting us, nurturing the relationship, reciprocity, etc. And it looks like beginning of the week, it's really important for you to speak some level of truth. To not be quiet is what I'm hearing. 10 of Earth, 10 of Pentacles, horsetail. We have family, legacy, stability. You could be having conversations with family beginning of the week that are actually requiring your truth, your honesty in a more vulnerable way, in a way that I think is kind of hard. I feel like there's some ownership that you need to do. Chiron just went direct. Chiron is the wound healer. Chiron is what helps us overcome. It puts us on that path of karma where, yes, we have certain situations, dynamics that can feel a little bit defeating, but we don't let it put us down. And what I like about this full moon in Cancer, like I said, it's very much connected to family, home, support, love, nurture. It looks like you've had a really hard time connecting with maybe your family or maybe the people that do that for you in your life. It looks like family dynamics have been maybe even a thorn in your side because we have the Magician in your blocked energy beginning of the week. And so, and here's the thing, we're obviously around a lot of family during this time of year. The holidays, celebrations, family gatherings, etc. And it can be a little bit crazy making, or it can make you feel unsteady. It can make you just feel like, oh, I got to get back into this dynamic. And there's a lot of like even psychology around like just what that actually represents for you, right? You can be this person who has your stuff together in your life, and then when you're back with your family, it's just like everything goes to shit type vibe. And that's a little bit what this is feeling like, is why I'm saying that. Because it looks like there's some things that need to be acknowledged around family, around dynamics. Maybe even in the way that you express yourself, you express your truth. Perhaps you don't feel safe to do this. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. I don't think it's always wise to be completely transparent with people, especially when you know you're going to get a certain backlash on people in those dynamics, right? Like sometimes it's better just to not put someone's face in it. But there are conversations that are coming out the beginning of the week. There are conversations that are like, I feel like this is stuff that's been left underneath the rug, swept under the rug, hasn't been addressed for quite some time. And it looks like you might have some people dynamics that are working to readdress these things, especially with the Fool. How can we start fresh? How can we start new? So working on opening up your throat chakra, self-expression, speaking your truth, not being afraid to say what you need to say. I don't think it has to be mean. It doesn't have to be something that's like creating drama, creating a fight, because the energy is not really moving in that direction for you anyway. This is more of an opportunity to reintroduce yourself, is what I'm hearing. Allow me to reintroduce myself. And that's where maybe not the easiest, because it does mean that so we have 21 and 3, which in numerology, they both break down to the same number of 3, which is teamwork, working together. And 21 is that value of like how you work as an individual in partnerships, in relationships. When we can't speak what we want, like our authentic truth, then it does keep us limited. And honestly, that's where Ayurveda looks at. It's not the only point that disease manifests, but it is one of those places that we disconnect from self. So finding that balance of saying what you need to say. There is some truth coming in beginning of the week. And I think I'm seeing it's going to require you to be strong, to kind of have your wits about you, is what I'm hearing. Not that you necessarily have someone or something attacking you. I don't feel like this is a full out, no holds bar. You got to be mindful of your mental, emotional. Yes, that plays a part into it. But whatever's happening beginning of the week, it's with the desire that there can be some type of harmony, some type of clarity, some type of opportunity to move forward. It's going to require you to rely on the information that you have to date. I.e., whether it's, I feel like whatever is being brought to you, let's see, whatever this conversation is, yep, 8 of Fire, messages, communications, people wanting to clear the air. Whatever is being said, you do have to keep your wits about you. So over the holiday season, things have been moving a little bit slower, right? It's not been wham, bam, boom. Like if anything, we've kind of had to cut things out, limit where we put our time, our energy, etc. And I feel like some of that has been the creating that like foundational layer for how we're going to move forward in 2026. The Salamander talks about infinity, reinvention, recognizing that there is, there's opportunity is what I'm seeing. And maybe you're reconnecting with people, situations in a way that you hadn't really anticipated, you hadn't really expected. you might even be a little bit resistant to. We're seeing a lot of tension around Jupiter, which is in Cancer. It's in retrograde this month. But resistance, like, it's hard to not get emotional is what I'm seeing. It's hard not to get emotional around people and situations. It's almost like you have to compartmentalize or categorize what you're gonna invest, like where you're gonna put your energy. Compartmentalizing meaning like maybe not going back down the path that has gotten you here. Yes, acknowledging it. Yes, remembering it. Yes, understanding it. But this is, again, it's about reinventing yourself. And there is resistance around that as we're heading into the new year. There's tension all across the board with Chiron. That's kind of like where we're seeing the most tension. And like I said in the beginning, Chiron is the wound healer. So maybe we don't want to clean everything up. But we got to clean some stuff up in order to see change. A lot of this is more about your mental deciphering, like how much you're going to let people into your world, whether it's good for your soul or not. We have a lot of nice energy. We have a lot of opportunity. I think that what I'm seeing is like you giving people opportunity to maybe right their wrongs. Wild Violet, self-actualization is in the blocked energy. Individuality. So it does look like you're connecting with certain people, certain dynamics that like maybe don't make you feel so great. It's like, because I'm hearing that's kind of where the question is coming into play. It's not as much about the physical. Yes, there are things in our physical world. The South Node is in Virgo right now, so it's easy to revert back to past habits, past patterns. Overcoming those things is requiring us to look a little bit deeper at situations to kind of keep our mental, emotional focused on what's inspiring us to overcome some of this BS. Someone's changing their tune, or they're wanting to show you. I see a little bit more of that happening midweek. But there's a lot of water underneath this bridge with the bayou. Because it looks like as you engage with this energy, honestly, truthfully, it's hard for people to accept. It's hard for them to receive. Maybe the stipulations that you have for these dynamics are not easy for people. Meaning there's this energy of people wanting to come in and just like make the past go away, which is nice in theory, but doesn't really work out when it comes to our emotions. Because those traumas, those betrayals that we face get stored in our physical body, i.e. that's where Ayurveda really talks about how disease manifests first and foremost in our mental, emotional world, and then we see it manifest within the body. And that's like, it looks like you're dealing with people or situations that it's kind of hard to get rid of. It's hard to release. It's hard to let go. We started with the Ten of Pentacles, which highlights family, relationships, dynamics. people that you can't really shake. Maybe you don't want to. Maybe it's a blip in the road. But again, we're having our self-actualization or our individuality blocked. Because this feels like this is something that's taking a long time to work out. Meaning, as much as you've tried to get away from this, as much as you've tried to move on to prosper, 3 of Earth, we have raspberry, which I love. Raspberry is very medicinal, and valerian root. Okay. So 8 of water. So it's like, it's an agreement from all people, all parties involved to kind of walk away from this toxicity. It looks like that might be a hard thing to do. And I think that that's kind of where this like lingering energy comes into play. You haven't separated yourself from this dynamic completely. It's not an easy dynamic. It's something that like is actually going to take a lot of work to change. And I think that's the hardest thing, you know, like when it comes to people, relationships, patterns that we have in our life. It's easy to get into a certain exchange that can be toxic, that can be messy. And it looks like everybody or all parties involved need to agree to let something go. And there might be some of that there. But like I said, it feels like this energy of not discussing anything. And then there's an influx of lots of discussions, lots of trying to figure out what the next moves are, what's the next best step. Full moons always bring home and family into perspective. Okay, so feverfew. Ooh, the devil's daisy. It's used in ancient times by Egyptians, and Greeks to cure general aches and pains. Most recently is known as a bitter and natural aid for migraines, nausea, and other respiratory ailments. So that value of, oops, oh great, excuse me. It almost seems like what I'm hearing with this is it almost seems like there's like minor things happening or things that maybe on the surface don't seem like that grand of a scale for things. But when you kind of dig a little bit deeper, it's uncovering a lot of different dynamics that make this hard or challenging to overcome. And that's where this sanity is found within the Psalm book. So whatever you kind of ascribe to that makes you feel inspired, golden seal is such a liquid gold. I love this. It's both a digestive aid and, okay, it's known as a bitter. And it's, okay, I'm not going to say that. Like it's really good for the skin, golden seal. It's called liquid gold, or dubbed as is what I should say. It's bound to Venus and fire. And it's attracting love and prosperity and sprinkled at the base of a candle. So I'm hearing this is a lot about like getting right, getting clear on what you want. It looks like you're dealing with a lot of past people or past dynamics or things that don't have closure to it. And there's a lot of decisions on the table. There's a lot of decisions about how this is going to move. Ginger reminds us that it helps calm maybe our nerves. It's actually like such a powerhouse, ginger. It's very healing. It's very good for our immunity. relieving symptoms of any type of nausea or things that kind of make us sick to our stomach, you know? And maybe you're dealing with some people, some situations that like have done some things that are really hard pills to swallow, you know? There's some type of energy that like you want to reconnect, you want things to get better or to go better, or like for whatever reason, this isn't leaving you and so you're forced to address it. There's, like I would say, there's a lot of water under this bridge. And that's kind of the one point I'm seeing, is being really mindful of your emotions, of your feelings around these dynamics, around these situations. Not giving in just to give in, because obviously it's not going to get you where you want to be. And you're already kind of teetering on this edge of maybe a little bit of enmeshment. I'm sorry for saying this. But wanting people, situations to accept you, to approve of you, so that you can feel better in your pursuits, which I'm not really sure you need that. I feel like a lot of the energy that's weighing you down or pulling you back or messing with your mental, emotional, it's other people who can't really get their shit together, right? It's people who have maybe said, done a certain thing, and then now they're backtracking a little bit, right? They want to reconnect. They want to express what they're thinking, what they're feeling, with hopes that like we can reinvent the wheel, reinvent whatever's going on in this dynamic. And again, it's not a bad thing. There is always opportunity to reconnect, to make something better. Commitment is a really beautiful thing, but we really want to make sure that whatever we're recommitting to is not continuing to ensue the toxicity, the things that are kind of holding you back, holding you down, keeping you from sleeping, keeping you in fear, anxiety, stress, etc., right? Like, that's not what nurture and support is about. And I feel like that's definitely a huge component of our health well-being this week. Yes, making sure that we're taking care of ourselves. I think that's kind of been a theme lately. But this is more about like not being afraid to express your truth, to actually self-actualize who you are and what you want in your life. And it looks like, you know, I'm not saying you have to cut people out, but it looks like you have a lot of people who are hanging on, clinging on, hoping that like you don't look at something too deep, hoping that it can just be swept under the rug and, you know, find a new way to move forward without addressing things. And that becomes where the issue is, right? Because those emotions, those issues are going to need to be dealt with. And that's really where the reality of this situation is going to showcase. Whether people, situations can put up with what you say, what you think, what you feel. Because remember, working together requires everybody. It's not just about you bending and flexing to someone else's ways. And I think a lot of this stuff is it's on thin ice. That's what it reminds me of. It's on thin ice. And it's requiring you to continue to like not put yourself in the background. Don't put baby in the corner, right? That's what I'm hearing. Making sure that like your wants, your needs, the desires of your heart are vocalized and communicated. And if people want to get on board with that, that's awesome. But I don't see a lot of manipulation. I see people wanting to reconnect, hoping that you'll give them the thumbs up, whatever. But again, not really like readdress the past too much. And that's where it gets a little bit dicey. I mean, I'm just a huge proponent of putting things out on the table, having those honest conversations that are hard, that might not be comfortable, but it actually just helps everybody involved. It helps give clarity, awareness. It helps everyone know what they're getting into. And I think that's really important for 2026, making sure that we are investing in ourselves first. So then we're actually investing in dynamics and relationships that honor that investment. So I hope this helps. Thank you so much for your time, energy, always. Happy New Year. Happy full moon. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I'd love to hear, or just say, hey, share in a little love, a little TLC. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. Know it blesses my heart, and I'm sending love and blessings back to you. Sorry. Have a great day. Thank you.